If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and tap the like button. Your support keeps us bringing stories that need to be told. It started on a night that still lingers in me, like a shadow that never quite fades. I've carried this secret for years, tucked behind polite smiles and surface-level conversations. But some truths grow too heavy to stay buried. Imagine waking up every day with a story you've never dared to tell. A part of yourself you've hidden so well, even you start to forget it's there. If you're reading this now, it means I'm finally ready. You're about to hear something no one else ever has. I grew up just outside Boston, in one of those small towns where gossip travels faster than the wind, and privacy is something you learn to live without. When I was 12, my parents split. After that, it was just me and my mom. She ran a little boutique on Main Street and balanced bills with late nights and quiet determination. For years, it felt like the two of us against the world. But everything changed when I turned 18. That's when she met him. He wasn't like the men from our town, ordinary, predictable, settled. He carried himself with a restless kind of confidence, like someone who had seen too much of the world to be impressed by it. Tall, broad-shouldered, a smile that melted hesitation. People were drawn to him, my mother included. In a matter of months, he went from being her boyfriend to a fixture in our lives. He ate breakfast at our table. His jacket hung from the back of our couch. To her, he was the second chance she never thought she'd get. To me, at first, he was just an intruder, someone disrupting the quiet rhythm my mom and I had always known. But the line between resentment and curiosity is thinner than most people realize. So thin, I didn't even notice when I crossed it. It started with little things. How he remembered the name of a book I loved. How he noticed when I changed my hair, details most people overlooked. His comments always felt intentional. Not like the offhand compliments you get from classmates or friends. These were different. More personal. More pointed. I should have ignored them. I should have laughed them off or walked away. But instead, each word sparked something inside me I didn't even know was there. And once that spark caught, I couldn't put out the fire. It was a warm summer evening. My mom was working late at the boutique, and I was on the back porch, sipping iced tea, watching the sky turn gold behind the trees. He joined me without a word, moving like he belonged there. For few quiet minutes, it felt peaceful. Just two people sharing the quiet. Then he said it. "You've grown into a remarkable woman." There was something in his voice, too slow, too soft, too intentional. It wasn't a casual observation. It was careful, gentle, dangerous. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. I laughed, nervous, unsure, trying to make it seem like nothing. But the air had changed. That was the moment I knew, without question, that something had begun. Something we both knew shouldn't. From there, it kept building. Small, fleeting moments that carried too much weight. The brush of his fingers against mine when he passed me a plate. The way his eyes lingered a second too long when I walked into the room. The excuses he made to be near me when she wasn't around. Each moment chipped away at a boundary that used to feel solid. Until one day it didn't. Until what had once been unthinkable started to feel inevitable. Then came the night everything broke. My mom had gone away for the weekend with her friends. The house felt still, too quiet, too exposed. I couldn't sleep. I wandered downstairs, barefoot, trying not to think. That's when I saw him. He was sitting in the living room, half lit by the soft glow of a lamp, a book resting in his hands. I froze. I should have turned around, gone back upstairs, shut the door. But I didn't. Instead, I sat down across from him, pretending to scroll through my phone, stealing glances in the dim light. When our eyes finally met, time stalled. My chest tightened. His face was unreadable, but the tension between us was loud. "You shouldn't be here," he whispered. But I didn't move. One look bled into the next. One silence folded into another. And somewhere in that quiet, we crossed a line neither of us would be able to uncross. That night began a story I can never erase. Even now, I can still feel it. The way it unfolded like a slow-motion fall. At first, it was hesitant, fragile. We both knew we were standing on forbidden ground. But hesitation didn't last. It gave way to something heavier, darker. A force too strong to stop. The kiss deepened, pulling me into a storm I wasn't ready to survive. And in that moment, the line we crossed disappeared behind us. No way back. No undoing it. What followed was a blur of secrecy and dangerous indulgence. We became reckless. We wove our hidden world into the fabric of daily life. A brush of his hand in the kitchen when no one was looking. Whispers behind the noise of a running shower. Glances across the dinner table that said everything without a word. Every encounter felt like walking barefoot across glass. Painful, intoxicating, impossible to resist. I told myself I could stop. That it was just a moment, a weakness, a phase. But the truth? I didn't want to. And neither did he. But secrets like ours don't stay quiet forever. It started unraveling when my mom began to notice the cracks. The way Mark and I avoided each other too carefully. The silence that filled the room when she entered. Too loud not to hear. One evening, she looked at me with eyes that trembled and asked the question I'd feared more than anything. Is there something going on between you and Mark? My heart stopped.
Elite.
Said no. Forced calm into my voice. Mark, ever composed, backed me up. Told her she was imagining things. And she wanted so badly to believe him that for a while she did. But I knew better. The truth was a lit fuse. And the explosion was only a matter of time. Guilt became my shadow. I lay awake at night, my chest tight with the weight of betrayal. I loved my mother. She was the only person who had ever truly stood by me. And yet here I was, hurting her in ways she couldn't even see yet. Mark told me I was different, that I understood him in ways she never could. And I clung to that. Let those words patch over my shame like fragile bandages. But deep down, I knew every kiss, every secret touch, was carving a wound that would never heal. The end came faster than I imagined. It was a rainy afternoon. The sky was gray. The air pressed heavy on everything. Mom came home early. I didn't hear her footsteps until it was too late. She walked into the kitchen. And there we were. Hands tangled. Standing far too close to explain away. Time froze. The look on her face is something I'll never forget. Not anger. Not even tears. Just silence. She dropped her keys on the counter, turned around, and walked out the door. That silence was louder than any scream could ever be. A week later, Mark was gone.
No good vie. No explanation.
Just gone. But the damage stayed. My mom hasn't looked at me the same since. We still live under the same roof. But the space between us feels like miles of cold, empty air. I broke something in her. In us. Something that can't be repaired. And that's the truth I've carried. Buried deep. Beneath years of pretending. This is the secret no one knew until now. Desire can burn hotter than fire. But when the flames die out, all that's left are ashes. Some secrets aren't worth keeping. And some lines, once crossed, can never be uncrossed.